Hi there. In this tasting, I want to take a look at a wine from the producers of Chateau Lafite. This is Domaines Barons de Rothschild, but this is their Los Vascos Cabernet Sauvignon, Cuvée Especial from the Valley de Colchagua in Chile, and this is the 2019 vintage of that. The Domaines Barons de Rothschild were some of the first people from outside Chile to invest heavily in the region in 1988 when they bought what is actually a huge estate. They've got something like 10,000 acres making up the whole estate, of which they've got a little over 1,500 acres actually in vine. And I think the estate was already established, and they purchased it and have spent a lot of time renovating and restoring the cellars and the vineyards there. The location here is relatively high above sea level in the central zone of Chile's vineyards. You're about 25 miles from the sea, about 453 meters above sea level, where you've got volcanic soils but with enough clay to retain water to keep the vines alive without significant irrigation. We're at the foot here of Mount Cantin. There are wonderful sunshine conditions, and the proximity to the ocean gives a certain cooling in terms of breezes, allowing good ripening but the retention of excellent freshness. There's quite a big day-night variation that enables the grapes to retain their acidity. So in fact, as I say, this is a large estate. It's one of the largest in the central zone in the Colchagua Valley, and it's predominantly making Cabernet Sauvignon based wines, although they do make some white wines as well, and there are one or two other varieties produced. This particular wine is 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. The winemaker, Maximilian Correa, is trying to make wine in a fairly classic style that echoes that's made in Bordeaux, and yet he manages to keep quite a Chilean style to the wines, I think. In terms of production, the wine is fermented in stainless steel tanks. Fermentation is kept down to about 25 to 27 degrees Celsius, and after fermentation, maceration is allowed to continue for 12 to 15 days. There are regular pump overs once daily, just for relatively gentle extraction. And after the end of maceration, the wine ages for 3 months in stainless steel vats. So here we're looking at a Cabernet Sauvignon without oak aging. So we'll just see sort of purity of fruit and its own structure. So what have we got here? First thing, quite a nice depth of a ruby red colour. It's not opaque. It's not losing much colour to the rim. It's still relatively young. It's not particularly purple. It's more red than purple. The wine's 14% alcohol. It's showing as being sort of very viscous as I swirl it there. It's clinging to the sides of the glass very well. Let's see what we make of the aromas. The aroma's a little heady, a little medicinal. There are some tiny touches of sort of lifted red currant and maybe blackcurrant leaf fruit, hints of methoxy notes. So let's have a taste, shall we? The palate is achieving that sort of mix of the style of Bordeaux and that of Chile. There's quite a classical sort of structure to the wine. There's good acidity, but also there's beautifully defined, almost quite black curranty, red curranty, mulberry, and maybe slightly minty menthol notes as well on the Cabernet. So really sort of classic Cabernet Sauvignon. The structure, considering the wine has no oaking, is relatively firm. There's a little bit of tannic greenness adding a bit of bite to them. It's making the wine seem quite sort of crunchy, and that combination of sort of slightly bitter tannin, good acidity. The acidity is giving lovely freshness. The alcohol at 14% is providing some warmth. It's certainly not overpowering the fruit, although at the finish maybe it's just sort of helping the tannins give a little bit of dryness and warmth. The length is pretty good. The acidity is so fresh, it's allowing the wine to... The wine is fairly simple. There's not a huge complexity to it. It's a medium body. It's not a big wine at all, but there's an elegance, a length, and a real typicity of Cabernet Sauvignon that I think makes this quite a good value buy, and a wine that would be really suited to everyday drinking. I mean, it would age for 2 or 3 years in the bottle quite happily. There's little point in extended aging. I think you'll find with Los Vascos there's a reserve level, and then there's a premium wine, Les Dix de Los Vascos, and those are getting much more into the realms of serious quality. This is a well-made, affordable wine, very well suited to everyday drinking. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you found the video interesting. I hope if you have, you'll leave your comments, you'll like and share the video, you'll consider following us on YouTube. But most importantly, let's hope you'll be able to join us for another tasting really soon. Thanks very much. Bye now.